Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet.
It's time, once again, for everybody to make their draft picks. Welcome, everybody, to Saturday Draft Live, Season 6, the Ultimate Challenge. We are here, once again, for the selection show. Let's fucking do this.
Hooray!
I'm just out of panic of if we're actually recording or not.
No, we're going. We're
hope
straight
we are.
into this. Mm-hmm. I am one of your regular hosts, as always, Scott McLeod, and joining me today, as usual, is one of my usual co-hosts. He joined me last season. I want to say he's a good friend, but I still don't trust him when it comes to this draft. I mean, how can you possibly trust a man who wears a hat indoors? I mean, that is just psychopath behaviour, as David tells me.
You know what? I've got no comments to that. Like, I wear my hat indoors. Just deal with it.
What are you hiding, Dave? What are you hiding?
Well, apart from a receding hairline, nothing at all.
Well, I mean, the immortal Take That once said, "Whatever I said, I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good." But this man didn't leave long enough for us to ask for him to be back for good. It's David Campbell.
Oh, Scott, it's good to see you, my friend. It's good to see everyone. The GOAT has returned to Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Routine. And I'm here to bring competition back to this draft. We had the Stephen Stormer of a season last year. I'm here to balance the books, and that is what I intend to do.
Well, speaking of Stormer's GOAT, the USA has recently been devastated by Hurricane Laura, but that's what this man is going to have to put up with for the rest of his life under the guise of holy matrimony. It is the winner of Season 5. It's Mr. It's My Podcast, Stephen Wilson.
The champ is here, guys. Yes. This is, here we go, 2 in a row. I'm going to show you all up. I'm going to go from the bottom and just absolutely destroy the field again.
So, like, you go for the bottom, mate, and destroy it?
Oh, yeah.
It helps we get all the leaked information, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Me and Tony Canna like that.
And we're all like that to you. Now, somebody who might not be fond of my reference to the Ultimate Challenge is this next man, because it involves somebody walking out with 2 titles, and this man hates doubles champions. It's Alan McLucas.
Yes. Well, you know, there's a double for you, and there's another double. Hey!
Take a burn, dude.
Now, if we're on the subject of moving to the subject of cars randomly, the debut of the Parking Lot Social has occurred in Paisley this week. But the less we speak about cars tonight, because this guy is on the verge of going off his frickin' dinger when it comes to cars, it is Ryan Gallagher.
Mate, honestly, don't even bother trying to slag me tonight. I have had a nightmare of a day, and now I'm stuck with, was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 idiots on this podcast that I need to deal with as well. So, do you know what? I finished dead last season. In my debut, it was sink or swim for me, and I inevitably sank. So there's only one way I can go this season, and that's upwards, mate.
Ryan, how many people are on this podcast?
I don't know, mate. I made it up. I started counting, I got lost at 3, so I made it up at the end.
You know, we all hoping like to have a sure thing, and this man had a sure thing last season. He was first. He picked Drew McIntyre, and he still didn't manage to pick up the win. How he's showing his face on this video call is beyond me. It is Grant McRobbie.
I know, I still can't believe it. I feel that I got diddled by Wilson or what, and he's lucky social distancing means I can't get my hands on him.
He did what to you?
He diddled me.
And he liked
tell you,
it.
Your Honour.
He loved it.
But it's kind of sad this next man doesn't really enjoy cinematic matches, because he has the kind of voice that should be featured as the voiceover man from everything from the National Lottery to Dr. Seuss. It is the founder of Team Viscera. It is Gary Kernahan.
Oh, Dave, that's very kind of you. I was expecting something mean and nasty from you. I take it David Campbell's been writing your material.
Love you, Gary.
Love you, David.
The goats had a little word in my ear.
Maybe one so far as went through. Wait, you and Dave, but there's also a third co-host. Yes, we're being a bit late to come in because he has a very special job for this particular selection show. But when I introduce him here, he is the lotto guru for this show. He's just here to spin the wheel at his Jack Graham.
That is right. All I'm good for is picking numbers and clicking a button and spinning a wheel. But yes, times have certainly begun to change here in the draft for season 6. And I'm hoping...
You forgot Daniel.
I don't exist anymore.
Well, you can blame them, not me.
Well, you know what? There is a reason why this guy stays behind the scenes in the production of ESSR Quiz Showdown, which you can find on YouTube. Because if his NXT quiz performance is anything to go by, he should probably stay there. It is Daniel Campbell.
Right, moving on.
Yeah, that was a bit as weak
this man is promoting your business. Look at him.
I know. I mean, look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, you could get the finest hoagies here at Haughney's Hoagie House. But nah, I actually don't think I will promote your show anymore. I will not promote this blooming place behind me. So you know what? I'm going to promote one of the best shows that we have on the YouTube channel. That's right, Quiz Showdown. Get it up, you.
One of the best. One of the best. One of.
You gotta be careful, Haughney's Hoagie House. When the owner comes out, starts brushing his teeth, that's your cue to leave. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's reacquaint you right now with the draft rules. Everybody's going to have a chance to pick their team's 5 singles picks, 3 men and 2 women, or 2 men and 3 women, depending on your preference, and 1 tag team. And you will be able to assign a captain on your team, which will allow, if that person gets a win anyway, they will get added points. So captain's advantage, and you can change your captain to anybody else on your team, but you can only do that once a season. Unlike last season, it's much shorter, so therefore there will be no transfer window. So you make a pick and it doesn't work out well for you, tough to you're stuck with it. And Dave, something you've mentioned before, you've referred to it as draft purgatory, or as it would be, is making things a bit more interesting this time around.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we introduced the idea of a relegation where basically the bottom 2 scorers for this season will enter what we know as draft purgatory. So they will be unable to compete for the title opportunity in the following season, but we will monitor their progress in the following season. So it's a lot more to play for season 6.
Mm-hmm. And as we know, Stephen Wilson won last season, so automatically we know that he will be starting from last place when it comes to picking his team, but we don't know the rest of the positions. We're going to determine that randomly with this beautiful wheel that is before us. But Ross has sent in a couple of lists. He has sent me a list of tag teams, a list of female picks, and a list of male picks. And basically, when it comes around to Ross's pick, I will work my way down the list depending on the order which he is drafting in, and determining depending on who has been selected before already. So he's got the first 3 people on his list have already been picked. When it gets to him, the 4th person, male-wise, would be selected. So basically, Ross's team success is in my hands.
Screw him over, Scott. Screw him over.
Yeah, do dirty.
Doink the clown.
The Scott screw job.
Pick somebody that's not on the list.
Draft ready on for him.
I mean, it would still be smarter than Indushare, but...
See that, Scott? Spin on it, mate.
Speaking of spinning, Jack, I think it's time we figured out who the first person to make their pick is. So, Jack, if you wouldn't mind, spin that wheel.
The wheel shall be spun. I'm praying for myself. Sweet irony that Ryan's got a blue background in his name, that we carry on.
I know, mate. Aye, me too.
Where will it stop? I do not know.
Oh,
for goodness sake!
Oh no, it's Ryan.
He finished last place last season, and he will be drafting first for season 6.
The funny thing is, it doesn't actually matter whatever I get anyway in this pick, because I'm probably going to make an arse of it regardless.
So remember, this first round is all tag teams. So Ryan, it's time for you to make your tag team selection.
See, I've had a bit of a turmoil-filled day, as you alluded to at the start of the show, so I've not had a proper chance to go through. I'm literally doing it on my phone as we speak, professional as always. But I think If I need to pick a tag team, I'm going to go with one of the newest title changes that's happened from this week. I'm going to go with the new NXT tag team champions, Breezango.
Breezango, very good.
Interesting. Yeah, so this is Breezango's debut season as well, so we can't really assess how they're going to perform. And you never know, Ryan's picked a newcomer straight off the bat.
Quite a dark horse for a first choice tag team pick. I feel I've said before, I was saying even today as well, there could be a shout, but I certainly didn't expect them to be the first tag team drafted off the board.
To be fair, it doesn't actually matter because they'll probably drop the titles next week and then get written off telly for months, so it doesn't really count. I'm probably the kiss of death.
Well, let's hope that's
I'm
not
very
the
interested to
case.
see what happens with Breezango. So that is, we know Ryan is first. So Jack, please once again spin the wheel.
Oh, come on!
It's
yes,
Jack. Jack just gets it by a whisker.
I'm very happy for you, Jack. I'm not cursing you at all.
Jack representing getting SDL straight off the bat here.
We boycott it.
I need to get SDL off to a good start here, and I think that my tag team for the upcoming season of the draft will be FTR.
Yeah. Fantastic choice.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. FTR making their debut last season as part of Grant's team, scoring 21 points. But then again, so not much to really work with as they only arrived after the transfer window. But you never know, they've been heavily featured on AEW. I think Jack could be off to a flyer here.
I see big things for them come all out. So this could be a very strong pick. I think they were a favourite of everybody's going into this season. So why is it on you, Jack, for getting in there first?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, since I'm not picking, I'll ask you again to spin the wheel, Jack.
Oh, who have we got coming up next?
It's like those old draft videos.
This is getting is it?
Oh,
is it Grant?
is it? No, it's like, it is
no,
Grant
it's Grant.
McRobbie.
Grant McRobbie. He drafted first last time. He's lucky number 3 this time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I still can't believe you took my bloody first pick, you prick. I didn't even have a backup ready or what, so you know what? I think I'm going to go for Hangman and Omega.
Wow.
Oh, nice pick.
Wow.
Nice.
Interesting, because
AEW.
Hangman and Omega were not selected as a tag team last time because Steven only had Kenny Omega in his team. And he did get him a lot of points with just Kenny Omega on his own. But, you know, I think with Kenny and Hangman selected as a team, this is going to be, again, it's another curious case.
As Hangman would do, I'm going to have a beer to that.
Big test for Grant will be All Out, which will be one of the first major shows of this new season. So if they make it out of All Out with the tag belts, this will maybe prove a smarter decision on Grant's part. So Grant's trying to make up for his last season performance. So Jack, let's spin the wheel. Let's find out who's number 4.
Number 4 coming up.
Oh, the tension.
Oh, it is a Scottish big dog himself, Alan McLucas. No 2 belts in his horizon. He will be picking next.
It's the second time it's went past me.
Oh,
I'm getting up second last before Wilson, isn't I?
Well, you know, Jack took mine, and you know, I didn't need another reason not to like him, but it's good to know I've got one I can add on. Oh, it's a toughie. Because all my backups would be right. I'm going to take a punt. I'm going to go the Young Bucks.
Nice.
Another AEW team.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they've been frequently picked in the past as part of tag teams. Let me just get my history up. Yeah, so they were selected last team. They're scoring an average of about 30 to 35 points per season. I think that's a very safe bet.
And we're still waiting for that big match with them and FTR. So in the near future, we're going to have Alan's team going up against Jack's team. And I really look forward to that outcome.
Oh, I am looking forward to that a lot. It's like a brutal grudge match.
Oh, yes.
Gauntlet match.
So the names are whittling down. So Jack, once again, spin that wheel.
this wheel's not being favourable to my horse here. I really need one of them to come up clutch and get this spot, but it's looking like it is going to be the former horse of Saturday Draft 5, the GOAT, David Campbell.
The first ever draft winner, the GOAT, David Campbell.
He has sworn that the Golden Role Models would not be on the singles board come his turn.
I was telling the truth. I was telling the truth the entire time. This draft is not going to be decided on who has Bailey or who has Sasha. Bailey's coming home. Sasha's coming to me. The Golden Role Models are my tag team pick. I wasn't lying.
Certainly wasn't. Like, Bailey and Sasha Banks, two of the highest scoring singles picks last season, but this is the first time in draft history that they've been featured as a tag team. Like, the GOAT wasn't bluffing when he said he was going to pick them as a team.
Now, we all expect, well, most of us expect the dissension between those two to come to a head at Payback this Sunday. And let's mention that Payback, once again, is not part of this season. It will start the following night on Raw. So, this could be over for David's tag team before it starts. So, David, if you want to waste two of the most valuable picks we have, that is your prerogative. We'll see how that works.
You're guessing it's going to come at Payback. You're guessing.
Well, we'll see what happens. So, David's, I'm not going to say he's wasted his tag pick, but he's made a tag pick and taken two big women's picks off the board. So, Jack, it's time to spin the wheel again.
After Shockwaves have been sent round the draft, can anything follow that at all? When I actually come to Scott McLeod getting to draft a tag team.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm looking at who I could potentially take next. I'm looking at some newer teams here. You know what? There's a team who I don't think are going to be dropped from their position anytime soon. I am taking the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, very good. Cesaro is actually a newcomer to this draft as well, despite being a singles or a tag team competitor. But Nakamura, he's been on a winning team before. And I think with us being the current SmackDown champions, Champions Advantage is going to play in. So I think that's a very, very interesting pick.
I mean, they've already beaten a couple of teams. The New Day aren't coming back anytime soon with Kofi's injury. So, it's a case of who can tear them out. And I don't think anybody right now. Right. So we got four people left, I believe. So, Jack, come on, everybody. Say it with me. Spin. Come on, with some gusto next time. Come on.
Gary, Daniel, David, or Ross. And it is looking like it will be our production man of the video, Daniel Campbell.
This is annoying me now.
Well. So, you've all made some great picks, I won't lie. A couple of you picked a couple of teams I might have wanted. But you know what? Why would I complain about not having those teams? Because after all, I want the smoke. I'll take the smoke. My team are the Street Profits.
Yep.
Very good. Very, very good.
Street Profits, current Raw Tag Team Champions and highest scoring tag team last season. A very, very good pick from Daniel.
Ross will be shouting, drinking his cocktail right now in Turkey.
Out of his red plastic cup.
Well, we're taking quite a few tag teams are going right now. We've got 3 people left on the wheel. So, Jack, and come on, everybody, you know the words by now. Spin.
Wheel.
Here we go.
What David sang.
I think it's going to be me.
There we go.
It is. Excellent. Right. So, my tag teams, my initial tag teams have all been chosen, but I do have a backup plan. And I was noticing that from Scott's season last time, like we mentioned, keep an eye on AEW Dark as well. So I'm going to take another bit of a punt on a team that's not only featured on Dynamite and Dark, but could potentially win tag team championships. My tag team are the Best Friends.
Oh,
nice choice.
Nice choice. Like, Best Friends, they were Scott's captain following the Charlotte Flair being written off TV, and they scored him a total of 37 points, I believe.
You had to bring up the Charlotte Flair incident.
Yep.
You had to bring that up.
So, Best Friends.
This is going to be the last time we spin the wheel because it's 50-50. It's down to Ross and Gary for the 8th place.
Could we just come to Gary?
Gary.
I do hope that is Gary, because Gary actually got to show up.
For the final time, spin
that wheel.
Fucking
Gary.
It's actually very fitting.
Boo that man.
It's very fitting, guys, that we had Gary and Ross as the last two with that red, white, and blue staunch wheel we've got going on there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been consulting the list of tag teams Ross gave me. I've been looking my way down them. So, first 4 or 5 have been taken. So the next available pick, it's quite ironic that it's my brother making me choose the team for him, because it's a pair of brothers again. It is the Lucha Bros.
Ooh.
Will be Ross's tag team.
Mm-hmm. The Lucha Bros weren't picked last season, but they have been featured in past seasons. So, it's been a while since we've kept up to date with how they're getting on. Yep, and they've only been picked once in season 3, and they scored a total of 5 points.
Well,
so yeah,
I remember it well.
they had an interesting interaction with Eddie Kingston on Dynamite this past week, and also there seemed to be this weird alliance with Butcher and Blade. So this could be a better season for Lucha Brothers this time around.
Yeah, Gary, would you like me to spin the wheel just for argument's sake?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Spin the wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Imagine around it goes. Everybody knows.
It's not me.
Derek.
Imagine it landed up with black line.
Null and void.
Null and void.
That's enough of that.
Alright, so the wheel is no more. Gary, your tag team, if you please.
There's two teams that I'm thinking about at the moment. One is the Viking Raiders, who I've had in the past and have done well by me. But the other one, I think I am going to go for them. They're a bit of a dark horse, I think. I'm going to pick the team of the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley and MVP.
Oh. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's a very left field pick. Shelton Benjamin's debut to the draft as well.
No, he said Lashley and MVP.
Lashley and MVP.
Oh, sorry. My fault. Ignore me.
There you go.
Yeah, I've not been drinking. I've not picked Benjamin.
Poor Shelton.
We start drinking after we finish.
Yeah, again, it's the same case as Sasha and Bailey. MVP and Lashley were big scorers last season, so it'd be interesting to see how they do as a tag team.
You've got to think as well, Lashley would have been a hot commodity for a singles pick.
Oh yeah.
For that season,
absolutely.
and now that's completely wiped off the board, so that may have thrown a few things up in there.
Yeah, I mean, with he's got a US title match this Sunday, so who knows what the ramifications of that could be, but we'll see what happens. Stranger things have happened here on the drafts, and so we come back down to last season's winner, Stephen Wilson. Who is your tag team? Please, we're all dying to know.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, what?
I'm learning from the mistakes of Ryan last season. I'm not going to go too much of a punt with my first pick. I'm going to go safe. I'm going to pick the other tag team. I'm going to pick I'm going to pick the other tag team that Gary mentioned. I'm going to go for the Viking Raiders.
All right,
very sensible. Very sensible
pick. You know, they have won a season in the past, so I think and they've been a very solid team over the last few seasons.
All right, sir. So we have everybody's tag team, and as a result, we now know the draft order we will be going through. So we'll go back round to where we started from. It is Ryan, you're starting us off. Your first singles pick, please.
Yes. A lot of thought into this while you guys have been drafting mediocre tag teams. I'm not sure whether I should go left field again, or if I should just go totally
left field.
Left field.
Can I pick and do share separately? No.
Don't you start that
just did. You just did.
Malcolm Bevins.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Roman Reigns as my number one pick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very sensible.
Saw that coming a mile away.
Well, to be fair, I didn't until about 30 seconds ago. I was thinking of somebody else.
Yeah. So Roman Reigns, on average, has accumulated 43 points on average per season. His highest score is 70 from season 3 when he finished runner-up in the 2020 Royal Rumble.
That's nearly as much as I got last season.
Yep. So, and with obviously him making a huge comeback at SummerSlam and being thrown straight into the Universal title picture, I think that was a no-brainer pick from Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, he's always a top pick, Roman. It's good to have him back, and I think he'll still be a valuable commodity in the seasons going forward. So, Jack, you're starting off for SDL. What is your first round pick? Who are you going for?
See, I was just kind of hoping that Gallagher would just be stupid and no same Roman Reigns, but unfortunately he did. But I think that considering the short length of the season, I would say that the not picking the WWE champion right now would be stupid, even though he's just had his heat kicked off. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre.
Oh, yep. Fellow Ayrshire boy.
Mm-hmm.
Aye. We Ayr boys stick together, don't worry.
Yeah, so I mean, Drew may have retained the title at SummerSlam. He's a team winner in his own right, third place in season 3, and Grant's captain last season, very first pick on the team as well. So it's no surprise that Drew's another round 1 pick this time around.
Speaking of Grant, I believe Grant is up next in number 3. Grant, you're the guy you picked first last season is out. Who are you going with?
So I've been thinking about it, and I'm going for someone who's just kind of came back with a vengeance because I've got a good feeling about him. I'm going for Aleister Black.
Yeah.
It's
like a round 4 pick.
Shut it, go.
Go, I will give you a black mass myself when I see you.
Who would have seen that coming? Probably not Aleister Black with that eye patch he's got on at the minute.
Please at least flush that black mass before you do anything else.
I mean, Aleister Black's points have just increased over time. You know, he started at 15 points in season 1, and he's accumulated all the way up to 84 points in season 4. In a bit of a cool down period last season, but you know what? Still a pretty solid pick, and I'm eating my hat once again when I said he'd be a 3rd or 4th round pick.
he did have a bit of a flat finish to season 5, but I think that will motivate him, and that will make sure he's a better performer this round, and especially with this seemingly heel turn that he's on right now. So well done, Grant, for that pick. In all the excitement, I'm almost forgetting who's 4th. Is it Alan next? Or?
Yeah, Alan.
Oh.
Well, I decided to have a laugh, and I bought the book of Gotonomics. And of all the crap is that, he did come up with some really interesting thoughts, and I'm going to take one of these thoughts, and I'm going to be a student of Gotonomics. My first pick is Asuka.
No! Damn!
Female pick of the first round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Asuka was Ross's captain last season, and she's got a maximum point score of 122 from season 5. So, you know, she's only appeared in 2 other seasons prior, and she's only achieved 5 points in season 1 and 34 in season 2. So it could be hit or miss, but she is the Raw Women's Champion, and that could easily help.
Mm-hmm, definitely. She is a figurehead right now of the women's division over on Raw. Okay, so we had Alan there. Who's next? Sorry, I'm getting too excited.
The Goats.
Is the Goats up next? You've already taken 2 singles picks of your tag team, you bastard. So.
Well, I know that then Alan getting a measure of revenge on me there, taking the pick I was going to go for there. With that in mind, as the Messiah of the draft, it is only right that I should pick the Monday Night Messiah, Seth freaking Rollins.
I'm stopping you when I see you, because he botched up my draft last year, knocking up Becky. The swine.
Oh, you didn't go there.
Before Bailey had the big season that she had last season, Seth Rollins was probably one of the best picks we had overall. But Bailey is long since eclipsed him, so hopefully you can keep up his past success. But I don't suspect that he'll be around for much longer, David.
Yeah, it's hard to say with this Seth Rollins selection, because he did pretty well last season, scoring 64 points as part of Gary's team. But he's obviously continuing the feud with the Mysterio family, but I think it's hard. I think it's difficult to tell at this stage where he's going to end up by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Jesus, I'm just so damn excited. Who the hell is next? I can't remember.
You.
Me? Too excited. I'm caught up in the moment, guys. I can't believe another draft is here. It's like Christmas for me.
Hey, well, I'll ask you, Scott. Scott, who will be your first round draft pick?
Why, thank you for asking, Jack. I'm looking around my past draft performances. You know, maybe putting 2 in a row as my team last year was a wrong idea. But I've seen the light. I've become enlightened. Or you could say I've become exalted. As I am choosing Mr. Brody Lee.
Yep.
I did not think he'd be first round, man. Quite annoyed.
No, I don't think either.
Yeah, I think you played a blinder with this one.
The fact that Cody's apparently been written off screen as well kind of gives me the thought that he's keeping that title for a wee while. So that's a smart pick.
Thank you. And Karrion Cross, we should also mention, he's obviously been taken off the board. So the amount of singles picks that have been taken off the board so quickly in this selection is...
My former team's just been ripped apart.
Daniel, I'll leave you next.
Well, as many people will know, the main team captain I've had for the last 2 seasons has failed me miserably in this last wee while. And that's not just speaking about double title gate.
Rules were stated. Deal with it.
I do not forget. And as for my first round pick, now, I noticed that, of course, Scott has gone for the Exalted one. There is another one that's in AEW, only he's a bit more of a lunatic. So I will take AEW World Champion Jon Moxley.
Wow, yeah.
He's dropped on Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, he is facing MJF at All Out, so you never know. He might not hold the AEW World title for much longer.
Main eventer, I'll take the chance.
David Haughney, I believe you're up.
Yeah. No, I've still got quite a few to choose from here, and I'm going to be very careful about how I proceed because I think I'm going to go with someone who's been front and center of Monday Night Raw for quite some time now. He may have come up short at SummerSlam, but I think he's going to have a second wind with this build-up. My first round draft pick is Randy Orton.
Wow.
Oh.
More of my team just gone.
Yeah,
away.
Sorry, Jack.
Someone that definitely's been putting the captaincy on come last season and ultimately cost me getting in the top half. But Randy Orton's a fantastic pick, and I see great things for him in the future. Scott, Randy Orton being first round.
We all thought Orton was going to win the title at SummerSlam, and that would have helped you, Jack. But I think your loss is about to be David's gain this season. So unfortunately,
so. Stand in the back with my own team. Bring back David Campbell Saturday Draft Live.
So I believe Ross is up next, and Ross requested that I make sure that a female is picked first because Ross is just a nice guy that way.
Oh, no.
First pick.
Oh.
And looking at the women's picks have already been taken, especially Bailey and Banks, the next top pick on Ross's list. Welcome to Ross's team, Shayna Baszler.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, very, very solid pick. Like she did pretty good in your team last year, Jack. Last season, I should say.
It seems that the common theme here is the team that I drafted my season will do well the following season. So keep an eye out for my picks and see how they do next come season 7.
Or they do well for you the season before, like when they demolished an entire elimination chamber when you got them. Okay, right here. So, Gary, on to you now.
I am going to take a page out of Ross McLeod's playbook, and I'm also going to draft a member of the women's division. I'm going to draft Mandy Rose.
Ooh,
first.
Mandy Rose is a bold,
actual surprise
first round pick yet, I think.
Yeah, another one of my former team. It's a hot commodity when you hang around with Jack.
Gary, just to jump in, I thought you said you weren't drinking yet.
Mandy Rose is a first-round draft pick. That's very bold because the only time she's not been featured in the draft is season 3, and the maximum number of points she scored is 24, and that was from last season. The lowest she scored is 3.
Things are changing. The women's division's shallow, and in terms of depth, there's going to be a new challenger. There's going to need some new faces in the block.
Yeah.
Oh, well then. Again, like, that is probably the boldest one so far. But we go on to the final pick of the first round. Mr. Wilson, what is your pick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, as Alan said, a page out of the book of Gotonomics. I'm going to follow the trend set, Ross and Gary before me, but I'm going to pick somebody who's got a bit of gold round their waist. I'm going to pick the genius of the sky, the NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai.
Ball bag.
Oh, ball bag.
Please stop making Gotonomics a thing here. It's not.
Yeah, it's not going to catch on.
Book available on Amazon for $10.99.
Bestseller.
Io
Take
Shirai
online classes now to get your PhD in Gotonomics.
Hardback edition is £24.80.
Io Shirai was only absent from season 4, but she also scored her maximum number of points in season 5. Guess how many she scored, Scott McLeod?
Oh, somewhere in the 40 range. I'm going to say 44.
Right on the money. Yep, 44 points
What
last
are
season.
the chances, eh?
And she's been a very solid women's champion. So I think that's a pretty solid first round pick from Mr. It's My Podcast.
Right. Well, that is a fact. I think Io Shirai, current women's champion. I don't know how she'll probably hold on to it for quite a while. So we go back all the way to the beginning. Some of the big hitters have been taken, some still to play for. So we go back to Ryan Gallagher.
I'm really torn here. I had a pick in mind for this, which was a dead cert, but all these picks of women has really thrown a spanner in the works for me, and it's put another name into my head, which is either going to be really successful or it's going to bite me in the arse. But I'm going to take the punt. I'm going to go for the Queen, Charlotte Flair.
Oh.
Another
follower.
Right into the goats.
Right, you fell into the goats trap, Ryan. Right, Charlotte Flair's been missing for quite some time, and she pretty much cost Scott the season.
Oh my god!
I'm hopeful that we go through this whole season, and then like the night after Survivor Series, when the season's over, fucking Charlotte Flair's back.
Probably
what you deserve after a pick like this.
I am taking the punt though. I want to ask a question though. What's the hilarity about getting roped into a trap here?
She's not going to show up until the Rumble.
How do you know? how do you know?
See if she doesn't. See if she shows up soon. Fair play. I will. As David talked about,
and that is why I am taking the punt.
That's fair enough.
Can we please stop advocating against eating hats here? We're sending a very bad message to our listeners right now.
Yes.
Hell. So there we go. Another move out of the GOAT's playbook from Ryan there.
Whoa. Let me just jump in a wee second. I just want to make it very clear that I am in no way affected by that idiot tries to say in the chat. He tries to say that he's going to say these things, he's going to make you think something. Listen, that man is not in anybody's head as much as he likes to think that he is, right? And I'm talking like him just now because this is the way he talks to make himself sound a lot smarter than he actually is, okay? So I'm just wanting to make that very, very clear right now, okay? That pick was off my own back, and it was off my own back only, and David Campbell has no way of getting in this head.
That's a big rant. That's a big rant, Ryan, for someone whose head I'm not in.
No, not at all, mate.
He says he's taking a punt, but he sounds like a silly son that rhymes with punt.
Ryan, the very impassioned words there. Really noted and quickly moved on from. So on to Jack Graham for his second round pick.
I'm fearing that if I don't draft a woman in now, I won't get a decent one come the third round, so I'm going to take Rhea Ripley.
Smart pick. If anyone's going to take the title from Io Shirai this season, it's going to be her, I believe.
Are you copying Grant's team from last season?
Yes.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Well. Let's just move on.
Rhea Ripley's been picked every season since season 3, and she has an average of 35 points. So again, another safe bet, although last season was her lowest scoring season so far. So it could be hit or miss.
There's so many jokes that you could make about Jack being desperate to get a decent girl. There's so many.
Just use your imagination on that one.
The chickens aren't cutting it anymore.
He's on to the turkeys now. But Grant,
Gonna throw down the
seeing as
doublet.
Jack seems to be so desperate to copy your team, who are you going with next?
So I am making a choice. This is a gamble based on one of the matches that's been announced for next week. He was in my team last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mr. Johnny Takeover himself, Johnny Gargano.
Nice.
Good
Yep.
shit. Good.
Very
Good
solid.
shit.
A 1 in 4 chance he will be NXT champion come next week.
It's promising.
Although Johnny Gargano, he's missed out seasons 1 and 3, but he again scoring about between 6 and 32 points. So, and he has a reputation for losing big matches. So I don't know if that's going to backfire on Grant this time around.
Only time it will tell. So we go on to the self-proclaimed big dog. I'm not going to. So, Alan, who's your next pick?
Yeah, proclaimed never once ever called myself it until Stephen did. Anyway, am I allowed to ask about some stats before I make my decision?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, dirty buggers. Right, I'm going to take a punt on this one. I'm going to play it dangerous. I'm going to stick with the women, and I'm going to pick Dakota Kai.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Good pick.
Yep. So
Who said that?
I called him a son of a bitch. That was my. I love her that much. She's always been my choice.
It's your own fault for picking her over Tegan Knox, Grant, so you get what you deserve.
Yep. So Dakota Kai's been building a lot of steam lately, and although she has come off the back of a NXT Women's Championship match, so could this be a cooldown period or could this be a bounce back? It's only time will tell. But bit left field, but not surprising either.
I think if she is in a cool down, she'll be working her way back up very soon, especially with Gonzalez in her corner. So we'll move on to the GOAT, the man who people claim is not getting in their head. Let's see what's going on inside his head with regards to who he's going to pick next.
You know, Scott, when playing this draft, you need to be crafty, you need to be smart, you need to have a game plan. And someone on Monday Night Raw who always has a game plan for her clients is Zelina Vega. She is my round 2 pick.
Very good.
I mean, she got 55 points alone from appearances and only had a couple of matches to top it off. A very high scorer last season. I think that's quite a smart pick from the GOAT.
Very good. Very smart decision there, David Campbell. Basically copying the groundbreaking choice that Ross made last year. Good on you, pal.
I did my research, Scott. There is a difference.
Did you? Aye. I believe it's me next.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. So I suppose I should probably take a female pick as well as they are running out, and I'll take a wee punt over to AEW maybe, and I will take the current AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida, and hopefully she'll do better than when I chose Rio when she was the champion.
Why are you folk picking my team? Stop it.
We're all picking Grant and Jack's team here, but yes, Hikaru Shida, aside from last season, she only appeared in season 3 and got 4 points, but 42 points when she was on Grant's team. Still, I think that's a pretty solid shout as well. And she's got a title defense at All Out as well, I believe.
Yes, against Rosa. She's all up under Rosa. She's not winning. Come on, let Doug Judy on the podcast. We move on to Daniel Campbell now. I believe you're up next.
Thank you for remembering this time. Nice to you remember me for when I'm taking my turn and not for when you're introducing me, you bunch of pricks. Anyway.
Hey, we were getting to you. Stephen jumped in before we got to you.
You ruined the intro.
All right.
We had an order worked out.
You're forgettable.
Ooh.
Who are you?
You taking that, Daniel?
Coming from a guy with that hairline? Nah.
Mate, my hairline will take your eye out, enemy your cheek.
Well, I don't see you here doing it, so oh well. Anyway, let's see. I notice we have the women's division here, so let's keep it going. And I'll take someone who's been quite involved in the big storyline recently.
No,
it's a shame
no,
that they didn't involve her in what was going to happen at SummerSlam. And the GOAT has a right to be so afraid. Little Miss Bliss is coming to the Elite Experience. I'll take Alexa Bliss.
Very good.
David, turn your chair around. Look that man in the eye. Congratulate him on his pick.
I'm so
I'm here, David.
Well, Alexa Bliss was featured as part of the Bliss and Cross tag team last season and then was transferred out. But Alexa Bliss on her own has a pretty comfortable average of 22 points. Her biggest... Yeah, so her biggest scorer was in season 3, where she got 28 points. I think a very consistent scorer, but something that will probably boost Daniel's team in the long run, I suspect.
Really think so.
Is it me now?
I think he's still a dark horse at the minute because he's not been used that much, but hopefully she'll slide back into the sprawling sphere. Maybe she'll do something with Nikki in the months to come. So, Haughney, we're over to you now.
So, it's a shame that some of the big names have gone, but I'm actually going to bring back a returning member from the Phenomenal Ones, because this person has also been pretty involved in a title feud, and they're just back from a suspension. So, my second pick, returning to my team, is the Irresistible Force, Nia Jax.
Oh.
Interesting, the big tag title match with Nia and one of Ross's picks, Shayna Baszler, coming up at Payback. So how that will impact both of your seasons is still...
You know what? I think two big personalities with Shayna and Nia as tag team champions, I think they could still run rampant as singles competitors.
Possibly. I believe we're on to Ross now, and Ross is going to go back to the male side of things. And looking at who the top picks still remain, it hasn't been picked yet on his side. I'm going to go with the first one. And the first name is the latest call-up to the Raw roster, Keith Lee.
Dirty bugger.
Yeah.
You know what? I can fucking have him.
Keith Lee, a very consistent performer draft season. I'm surprised he's been waiting until round 2, but his average is 49 points. Despite only getting 2 points in the first season, he's scored at least 45 from every season onward, apart from season 2. So I think and now that he's being heavily featured on Monday Night Raw, I think that's a pretty smart selection from Ross.
Yeah, I really think so. So on to Gary for your second round pick.
I am going to pick the new NXT North American champion.
Oh yeah.
Damien Priest.
Thank you.
Damn it, I thought he was going to be a good second third round pick, damn it.
Gary Kernan wants to live forever, and he might do so with Damien Priest making his debut season.
Yeah, this draft is going on forever, by the way, boys.
I know. I speed us up, eh?
I know, sorry guys, we didn't realise we were already going so long. So on to Stephen Wilson. Moan, no wasting time, what's your pick?
A favourite of Dave's. He's team captain last season for the second half. The Phenomenal One, AJ Styles.
Nice.
Good pick, Stephen.
I mean, he's just lost the Oh, you mean John Cena?
Yes, that guy.
Don't start that push again.
Sorry, what was that about Union Deal?
Some big picks have been taken, so let's work through these next 3 rounds. This is where we see the dark horse, the picks we may have forgotten about getting picked. Back to the start for round 3 is Ryan.
So we spoke about the big match on NXT next week between Gargano, Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa, and my next pick, the Prince.
Prince
Balor. Yeah, very, very good.
You can have him in shite last season, get losing.
Well, you never know. He's been heavily rumoured to be the winner of this 4-way Iron Man match coming up.
You can never count out the Prince. You can never count out Jack Graham. Jack, your third round pick, please.
Well, I think I've just got to kind of follow in the same ilk as the number 1 draftee here, Ryan Gallagher, and I want to take Adam Cole
baby.
Shut up, Dave.
That's another kick in the ass for you. We warned you about that. Anyway, yes,
Grand.
Adam Cole. So I'm sensing a pattern here. Some big NXT picks getting snapped up here. And we move on to Grant.
So I'm going for the other half of the power couple. We've got Gargano in my team already. I'm taking Candice LeRae.
Mhm.
Very good, very good.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
very
it.
safe bet. You know, she did well in Gary's team last season.
Very much so. Alan, I believe you're next.
Right, I'm going to take a punt here. I'm going to take the current Intercontinental Champion, Jeff
yeah,
Hardy.
Nice.
Damn it.
The next pick.
Yeah,
That was mine.
Our
you
speed.
Intercontinental Champion.
Words cannot describe how much I dislike Alan at this moment, so I won't even try, and I'll move on to David Campbell's next one.
It's alright,
You've
nobody
got-
likes you anyway.
You've got to pay attention to current storylines. It's all right looking at tradition. I think that's the first time he's been picked as a singles guy. I'm picking Big E.
Oh,
Done.
you
Good shout.
Yeah, bastard.
Clever man.
dirty jammy bastard. Like,
There's another potential one of mine here. So I'm panicking, going back to my list here to see who I could potentially take here from the main roster, because I've got quite a few AEW or NXT related people, but I need some. I'm legit stumped here, by the way. Does not usually happen here.
Come on, take a punt at somebody.
just take a swing.
Fine,
You know,
I'm thinking here. You start that shit again.
And do share.
Fuck it, I'm going to take another punt here. I am going to take Sheamus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need a SmackDown or Raw pick, so I'm just going to go with Sheamus.
Yep, pretty solid. Yep.
Interesting.
It is Daniel Campbell up next.
Well, you know me, I always enjoy tuning in every week to the Kevin Owens show. Kevin Owens, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's appearing more.
Aye, you can have him. You know, he broke his ankle and did bugger all for me, so he can be gone.
It's alright,
There you
Alistair
go.
Black's going to shelf him.
We'll have to wait and see. David Hockney.
Ooh. You know what? I made fun of him last season, but this time I'm going to take him on board. The United States champion, Apollo Crews.
The
irony, the absolute irony of
Absolute
that.
irony, I know.
He's going to lose
But will
the
he
title.
be
He's
US
gonna lose the
champion
title.
after payback? Is karma going to be a right bitch to you, Dave? We'll wait and see.
Yes, David. Yes, go on, David.
He's learning. For Ross's next pick, I think we're going to go back to the female side of the draft. He said to go on a female pick in the second round if they were running out, but I thought there was enough left. But now I think they are quickly running out. So looking at Ross's list, there's one name left. I think could actually be a dark horse for Ross's team. I'm picking Brandy Rhodes for Ross's team.
Ooh.
Brody Lee will put her out next.
I mean, Brand. I still don't get why Ryan traded out Brandy during the transfer window. He was.
She was shite. She was shite up until that point. I wanted somebody that was going to do actually wrestling, and then funnily enough,
But then she did some actual wrestling.
Yeah, she starts wrestling. it summed up my full season. That trade, man. That's exactly what I was getting with last season.
Let's be fair, Gallagher's a bit of a pie anyway, so let's move on.
You shut your hole, you.
Right. Gary, you're on next.
Some of the picks that have just been came right off my list. So I think I'm going to go for Andrade.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
Mm-hmm. He was on the winning team last season.
See, you noticed that kind of thought reaction and nobody was banging the table like last time. just a mindset. Stephen, you're the one who caused all the table banging last season with Andrade, so up to you.
I beg your pardon.
Take that whichever way you want.
I'm
going to go rather bold. I'm going to go across to AEW. What do you like with your breakfast in the morning? Some freshest greens.
Nice, I like that.
Orange
Nice.
Cassidy.
So quality punch, penmanship. Quality punch.
You're like Shaggy's a hedgehog.
Well, tensions are flaring, but we need to get through these last couple of rounds as we head to. Haughney, why are you wearing sunglasses indoors?
Freshly squeezed, man.
Freshly
You're
squeezed.
those Orange Cassidy, get those off.
In Wilson's case, it's freshly pished.
Anyway, I'll squeeze his neck, alright?
Back to Ryan. One.
So I've got two guys, one woman. So I've got a pick of anybody. I'm going to go for Santos Escobar.
Cruiserweight champion.
That's my full team gone, I think. I think that's my full team gone now.
Not quite. I think you've still got one. No, you've got two left on your team, Jack.
Uh-huh.
No, his
You're
full
up
team
next,
from last season.
Yeah, I was saying two from his season 4 team.
So, Jack, you are up next.
Well, his name's been brought up. I don't think anyone drafted him when they were talking about John Moxley, so I'm going to take the man that's going to take AEW into the next 25 years, MJF.
Oh, MJF.
You're going to start wearing Burberry as well, you prick.
I mean, I'd suit it. It's fine. No.
I think you could pull off Burberry, Jack. I think don't listen to them.
Yeah, on to Grant now.
My next one is the Spanish god, Sammy Guevara.
Has he ever been picked before?
Yes, he has, I believe. Sammy Guevara has only been picked once in season 3 and got 16 points.
For the goal.
So
He's hopefully going to do better now in his feud with Matt Hardy. On to Alan.
I think I'm going to go Angel Garza.
Best scorer from Dave's team last season.
yeah, my highest scorer from last season. I think him and Andrade could be either continuing their tag team or they could end up having a feud with each other. Solid in terms of appearance points, at least.
Yeah, you never know. Let's see. On to the GOAT himself.
Bringing them back. No one will survive.
Daddy's home.
Oh,
Daddy's home.
The last member
Cam-
member of the 4-way match.
Gamble's returned, and as has Tommaso Ciampa. So there we go. Another big potentially the next AEW champion. Sorry, the NXT champion. Speaking of AEW, I think I might have to go. No, actually, no. Try to think, who am I going to go? You know, I'm going to take a punt. I'm not going to go with this person for my next female pick. I've got one more female pick, haven't I? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Sorry. Losing track here. I'm going to stick with someone on the Raw brand actually this time. Let's go with Ruby Riott.
I mean, we have seen a Riot Squad reunion. I think that's
potential challengers, I believe, for the women's tag team titles at some point. So you never quite know. I was going to go to somebody on AEW, but I've already got a couple of AEW and NXT picks, so I want to move away from the Wednesday nights. I need some variety on my team.
Yep, not a bad shout.
On to Daniel Campbell.
Well, looking at my list, I don't actually have anyone from NXT yet, considering that my last time was very NXT heavy. So I will travel across to NXT. Give me Mercedes Martinez.
Damn it! You bastard! You're a dick.
I forgot all about
that's
it.
quiz show
So that
for
is
you
a
cancelled.
smart pick on your part.
Ah, nice. That's a great pick. Very good pick.
We move on to David Hockney.
Well, I'm annoyed now because Daniel swiped Mercedes Martinez, who was going to be my next pick. So I'll resort to my other backup and someone who I think actually did not too bad last season, all things considered. It is making another return from the phenomenal ones. It is Shotzi Blackheart.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Oh, yeah. That was my backups.
Speaking of keeping on the NXT train, going back to Ross's team, looking at some of the big male singles, because a lot of them have been taken already. But let's see, somebody who Ross was got rid of a bit too quickly before he actually started winning matches, and hopefully it'll work out better for him. It'll be Timothy Thatcher, Ross's team.
I mean, he has called out Damian Priest for a North American title match, so he could potentially be his first challenger.
That's just
finally getting big matches. Right. Last couple of picks of the second last round. On to Gary Kernan.
I'm going to pick another champion. I'm going to go for the current Universal Champion, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
Oh, I forgot about
a very, very late addition to someone who's been picked as a first round pick multiple times in the past.
You should have picked him as a fourth round pick, Dave.
Maybe I should have, but you never know. He could lose the Universal title and then disappear again. So maybe that's what scared quite a few people off. But yeah, Bray Wyatt is on average only 28 points, so a bit lower compared to everyone else, but his high score is 42 points on season 3.
We got to close out the second last round with Stephen Wilson.
Let's do the worm, guys. Mr. Money in the Bank, Otis.
Oh yeah!
Picked him as a singles guy this year.
Yeah, but what you probably should have done last season.
No, I won last season, so it doesn't matter.
I know, I'm just saying. Just think of how much more you could win points, Stephen.
Okay, whatever.
Don't encourage him.
Basket by glory, Daniel.
A wank's a wank, Wilson.
All right, last round.
Right, yes. Into the last round. Back to the start. Ryan, your final pick.
I'm really struggling with this one. I've got a list of names in front of me. I don't know who I want to pick because I need to pick a woman to even out my team. I'm going to go. I'll have a left field pick with this one. Somebody who might start picking up wins because of her affiliation on AEW. I'm going to go with Anna Jay.
You were going to pick her.
Member of the Dark Order.
You were going to pick her.
Very good. Again, another Dark Horse pick. Hopefully this one works out for you than some of the other Dark Horse picks.
Nah, she'll go right after early next week, I know.
I know. We'll see her in about 4 or 5 weeks on Dark.
Aye.
But on to Jack Graham, your final selection, please.
See, I'm in a bit of pickle as well in that situation, so I've got a female pick last, and I was going to take Nikki Cross, but I feel that nothing will be too fair will come her way with Alexa Bliss. But there's one woman that might have a good run for a wee while on Raw with a current storyline, and I'm going to pick the woman that had a shocking return on Raw a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to take Mickie James.
Mickie James. Looking currently a brilliant storyline with everybody's favourites, Natalya and Lana. So yeah, definitely think that's going to work out for you.
It's I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I think she'll get something over eventually, but after that, I can't see much else happening. But we'll see.
Well, we'll see. On to Grant, your final pick, please.
So my final one has to be a woman, and I've been kind of swithering between two choices. One was more left field than the other, so I'm going to stick with the safe one. I'm going to go with the bad girl, Penelope Ford.
Was she not on your team last year, Ryan?
Aye.
So after the transfer.
He did actually not bad for him, to be fair.
He did pretty solid, yeah.
He's on 2 shows a week. Usually.
This is where we're starting to take Dark and Dynamite into consideration now.
Definitely, that's definitely something to consider, as I've said multiple times. Alan, time for your final pick.
Yeah, I don't know where to balance this because I've got 2 Wednesday nights, 2 Monday nights, going to 1 on a Friday night. And looking at what's left for SmackDown, it's not good reading. So I'm going to play it safe. So I can choose either a woman or a man, and I'm going to try and play it safe. No, wait, I'm going to take a punt. I'm going to take Miz.
Ooh, the Miz?
That's a shout, by the way.
Another tag wrestler taking as a singles.
The way they're a Retribution.
So I think I'm going to go for it.
I was going to say, does he get points for talking smack as well?
No.
I don't think
Wilson's doing the points. What do you think? Of course not.
Anyway, on to the go for his final pick of his return season.
follow the storylines. Might not get wins. Will get appearances if there's a big storyline featured. I'm going to take the punt with Nikki Cross.
There you go. Nikki Cross was teased earlier. Goats made the play. He's taking Glasgow's own Nikki Cross.
Prove me stupid for not picking our goat.
Interesting. Speaking of dark, I'm going to go. I know I've said about balancing out your team, but I think I've got a decent balance so far. So I can afford to go back to AEW for my final pick. AEW Dark regular, and he's been getting wins week in, week out on that show. It is a perfect 10 of a pick.
Nice.
In the pan.
John Spears. A heavy feature on AEW Dark. Appearance points, consistent matches. I think, if there's going to be a make or break this season, that could be him.
Dave, draft Tully so that all the Saturday Draft Live boys are all connected.
Big Tully. Moving on to Daniel Campbell, your final pick, please. I'm getting nervous here with these last few picks.
See, this juice is okay, but I think I would much rather a little bit of the bubbly. I'm taking the champion, Chris Jericho.
Well done.
Yep. Good pick.
Mimosa Mayhem happening soon.
Yep. Mimosa Mayhem. It should be excellent.
And you guys are giving point. You guys are just giving Wilson points there, don't you? Pressure Squeeze is beating them all out.
Hell yeah. But Jericho appears every week, pretty much. So it's solid points for round 5.
Haughney, you're the final member of the draft team to make your final pick as the Saturday Drive host.
Last one, I'm going to go big, and I mean monster-sized big. Braun Strowman.
Nice.
Oh,
that's just a tall version of Ryan.
Why would you want someone that looks like Ryan on your team? Come on.
Well,
I mean, cheeky bastards.
Just look at what he's wearing. That's probably why.
I mean, I'm not one to. I've got a better version of Grant on my team as my first round pick. So
that's just me when I've been to the gym. Thank you.
And on to Ross's final pick. And for Ross's final pick, we go over to the SmackDown side. Bro. For Matt.
Yeah, it was either going to be Strowman or Riddle for me because I needed some SmackDown representation. It looks like me and Ross have just scooped up the lot there.
Honestly, I was between Strowman, Riddle, and Corbin for Ross's final pick, looking at his list and who's left. And I kind of stole Spears and a couple other people off the list. So I think Riddle is a solid pick for him, I think.
Yep.
2 picks left before we officially commence season 6. So Gary, please, we're all dying to know.
So I have to pick a female competitor to round out my team, and there are not many left on the board. And I'm torn between 2, but I think I am going to pick. This one's a bit of a risk, I think. She didn't perform well in the past. I think she was in Ryan's team last year. But she's on Raw, she came back, and with the 3 hours they fill on Raw, there's more of a chance, so I'm going to go with Bianca Belair.
Oh shit!
Yes,
I completely forgot about Bianca Belair.
I forgot about her as well, and here's me bloody drafting.
Always you. I hated you.
I never forgot about her, but I chose not to pick her out of sheer principle.
It was going
I
so
never forgot
well.
about it either.
I'm sitting there watching, going, nobody's picked her. He can pick a guy. He can pick a guy. Gary's going to pick her. Yep, Gary picks her.
I'm surprised
for drafting Mickey James.
Yeah. I mean, she was on Ryan's team last time, but I believe did she stick around or did he transfer her out?
I think he transferred her. She disappeared for a while.
What happened with my team last time was I drafted everybody who got pushed on 1 week. We done the draft whatever day it was, and then the following week COVID hit or something, and then they never showed up again. So, so she was another one that fell victim to that.
All right, so last pick of the season. Let's have it from Mr.
Wilson, defending champion.
Yeah, Gary picked the one I was hoping for. I was just banking on it. It didn't happen. I've got a safe bet and a left field bet. I'm going to go with my left field bet. My safe bet was Tegan Knox, but right, why not? I'm going to pick somebody who appears quite regularly. I'm going to pick the Diesel to the Dakota Kai Shawn Michaels. I'm going to pick Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's a good
I
pick.
was going to mention her potential.
Yeah,
that's who I was between.
That is an interesting pick. I actually have to say, Wilson, I do admire that team choice. So, anybody, before we wrap up, that is everybody's teams. But there's one thing left to do, lads. We need to go back around one more time. We need to do this little dance again, because we need to decide who each person's captain is, and we need to decide who it is. What is your team going to be called? So we'll start in the same order which we drafted. Brian, your team name and your captain, please. You can stick with the same name you had last season if you want.
What was my tag team? My name last year, was it the Boss Hackers, wasn't it?
Yep,
something like
spot
that.
on.
Do you know what? I'll stick with the Boss Hackers because I've not really thought about it too much to got me something fancy. But Boss Hackers is a good name. I like it. Captain's got to be Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
of course.
That's a no-brainer right there.
Yeah, it is a no-brainer. Jack, you want to keep your... I mean, you've got the word relegation in it, so it's not a bad name given the stakes of this season.
Will it still be the same fantasy team?
I will be keeping my name as Liquidation Relegation, still the same fantasy team for as long as I don't end up in the bottom two. It looks like I've had a victory, so I will take that, and I will make my captains the only viable option I think for this season. I think it will be FTR as my captains in the draft.
Interesting.
And we've had tag teams in the past as your captains. That worked out for some. It didn't work out for you last time. You had tag teams as your captain, Jack.
See if they lose tonight, it's going to be amazing.
Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Drew
it.
you have Drew McIntyre in your team. I'm surprised you didn't choose him.
I mean,
Dave,
he's got one
just let it be. Let it be.
He's got one captaincy change you can do this season. So
yep, of course you still have one cap. You've got one captaincy change to make this season, and you can use it whenever you want. But bear in mind, the captaincy change will only apply from the first Monday after you make the change.
Yeah, no, he's not going to change it this long because, he needs to see how well bloody FTR do first. Anyway, we move on to Grant. Who is your captain? Are you going to keep the same hipster name that you had last season?
No, I'm changing my hipster name to something else equally hipster.
Oh, good.
So,
on brand.
So, because I like my Japanese stuff, make it hard for you to pronounce. So, his team name's going to be Los Ingobernables Destiny.
Motherfucker.
What the hell is that?
Good
David, good luck taking that out, son.
Just
good luck spelling that, yeah.
Just call it LIS. LIS.
There you go,
LIS. Responsibility for reading that name out every week. I think I can get that.
And my team captain, I was swithering on it, but I'm going to go for the one-eyed guy, Aleister Black.
The one-eyed
guy, yeah.
There we go. Alan, are you going to keep the same blasphemous name even though the GOAT is back in the draft?
Yes, I am. Greatness on Aleister. Well, if he wants it, he needs to beat me for it.
Yeah.
But
I'd file a copyright claim.
Copyrighted it. Hey. So, I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to make my captain Asuka.
I think she was Ross's captain last season, so she is definitely a wise choice. David Campbell, I think you should be getting onto your lawyers about this team thing.
I don't need to get into my lawyers. My team name is also Team GOAT. You can decide if you want to call it or not. My captain will be...
Can't have two Team GOATs. Yes, you said you got
We've had two Undertakers, we've had two Kanes, two things. We can have two if we want.
That's fine. He gets a two then. He gets a two in brackets.
I heard one's all lowercase and one's all uppercase.
Exactly.
Alan, you should change your team name.
Yeah.
If we can't have two, you need to change.
Seconded.
Mine stands for Goatonomics on alternative thinking.
It stands for That's what
stands for blasphemy.
Guys, please. We've all got lives to go to, please.
Yes, I'm Team GOAT.
So, we've got two Team GOATs. We're on to my team, obviously.
He's not going to get my captain yet.
I'll make you a deal, Campbell. I'll make you a deal. If you beat me, you take it. If I beat you, the GOAT ends, retires forever.
No. Anyway, captain.
And let the man choose his captain.
Let the man pick his captain.
I need to go I need to go safe for the first bit until I see what the lay of the land is. So I'm actually going to make my captain Zelina Vega.
That actually could be a wise decision in hindsight. You know, appearance points alone, she is very strong.
Poisoning the folk left, right, and centre, and you're going to get double points for it. Sneaky wee prick.
I think it's quite obvious that the best person on my team to be my captain is Mr. Brody Lee, the TNT champion of the championship points and the captain's points. I need to rake in all the valuable points I can. And obviously, here we go, 2 in a row does not apply anymore. It's yesterday's news. It's getting flung in the bin. I'm going to have a name that truly encapsulates the dangers of this draft and how anything can happen. My team will be known as Team Drafting Ain't Easy, to go along with my Godfather style intro to the show.
Nice.
I like it.
You're moving up in the world, Scott.
What?
You're moving up in the world.
I am definitely moving up in the world. Drafting ain't easy, but it is fun. So Haughney, that's matter. So you keep your name.
Daniel next.
Oh, sorry.
You forgot Daniel again.
You forgot Daniel again.
For God's sake. You're the man I need.
Haughney annoyed me.
Call his team the Forgotten Sons or something, yeah.
I'm just going to remind Scott that I'm editing this so I can slag you're a belter in the edit. Now,
come ahead, pal.
Just you watch. So, when I look at my team, obviously, last couple of seasons I've been the Eolic experience, and I'm an Isla guy, so, you know, I'm inclined to keep it. As for my team captain, actually, no, easy pick. Main event scene, big matches coming up. I'd be a fool not to take him. Captain John Moxley.
Dropping it Saturday.
Oh, I cannot wait until MJF takes that title for you, son.
That's good decision, good backfire.
That might fall flat, your arse.
So, David, you annoyed me so much that I almost skipped over Daniel Campbell in the last bit. So now it's your chance to tell us who is your captain, what's your bloody team name?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious who my team captain is. It's going to be Mr. Legend Killer himself, Randy Orton. And my team name, I'm retiring. Obviously, I'm going to retire the phenomenal ones because AJ Styles isn't in my team. My team name is going to be... Going to keep it simple, but I'll name it after a drink I've actually grown quite fond of now. I'm going to be Team Snakebite.
Oh my god, that's pish.
How old are you, Haughney?
Right, I'm away.
Scotland Team Dream was better than that.
David, you're letting the side down, come on.
Team Snakebite with Blackcurrant.
That's not...
Dave, shut up.
You will be having words on this next episode, Dave.
Haughney, you're a brandy boy, we all know it. Just call yourself the brandy boy.
Just call yourself Team Goat Free, Dave, and be done with it. It's still
No, because I'm not blasphemous.
Anyway,
I have been informed by my brother that Keith Lee will be the captain of his team, a team no longer called the David Campbell Memorial 7, given that it can't be a Memorial 7 if the person it's in Memorial of will not stay dead. So he will now be leading the Turkey national team, as it will now be called.
TNT.
Yes, or TNT if you prefer.
Mate.
Right, Gary, your captain and your team name. Are you keeping Team Bethra?
Absolutely, bet your ass I am. And team captain's the Hurt Business.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Risky.
Very interesting. Stephen, are you still going to be known as the top 1%?
You bet you're damn right I will be. First ever 2-time winner of this draft. Of course I will be. You know,
can we not call his team the Bobad Connection?
I don't like that, but I'm sticking with the top 1%. He appears all the time on SmackDown, even though he might not be the champion by the time the season starts. AJ Styles, captain.
Easy choice.
Yep. Pretty smart, yep.
I heard Uncle Alan's taking time off.
Better not be.
It's what you deserve.
It better not be. If I knew that, I would have picked Abyss.
It's actually but the problem was he walked too far and he ended up falling off the edge of the earth, which he believes he probably.
Oh god!
See, the problem is the social distancing, staying 6 feet apart, it's pushed some people off the edge.
He's trying to solve the problem.
Well, that is our teams, our captains, and our team name. And as we said, payback will not factor into this season at all. It will start from this Monday's Raw, although it will be definitely a big factor if you've got an AEW pick, as the first big show of the season will be next Saturday's All Out. Lads, it has been decidedly average to see you all here today.
I've got to edit this. I've got to see you for longer.
Campbell's saying a danger link with that.
How are we all feeling about our teams? The season ahead, it's a much shorter season. We're going all the way to Survivor Series. How are you all feeling?
I can't believe I picked Mickey James.
I can't believe how many he's picked my old team, you bastards.
I legitimately could. So much eating hats going on. I genuinely think I've picked the winning team here. I genuinely believe that.
I genuinely think you've chosen second.
I'm just happy with my reaction for taking Alexa and Mercedes. I was happy with that.
Oh well.
The person I'm most scared about here is
I'm surprised.
Sheamus.
I'm surprised I retained both my female picks from last season.
Nobody wants Nia Jax.
Because she killed folk.
Painted them.
Could be women's tag team champions by the start of the draft.
Could be, could not be, you know.
That's because there's no one to defend against when she's injured them all.
Well, it means you can never lose them. It's a smart strategy as a champion. I mean, look at Jack. He never defends that bloody 365 belt, but he still got it.
I tell you, lockdown's been a curse on everyone but myself. It's clearly proved dividends with this.
Just remember, you're going to be out in 3 weeks' time.
Right. I'm in here.
Well, can I ask Jack, when's your photo shoot?
I guess it'll need to be at some point soon. I've been trying to organise it for a good wee while, but
I actually know someone who could help with that.
Well, fucking get it sorted then. Chat needs it done.
Can we roll this guy so Gary can go?
Yeah, I think he's going now. So, lads, I thank all of you here for joining us, for coming on here today. It's a special episode here, Saturday Draft Live. I always love it when we get together to do our selections. I do love the season ahead where we don't spend time together and we remember why we only get together every so often. It's like seeing your family at Christmas. It's just so great. Well, I thank everybody here. I want to thank my co-host, Jack Graham.
Thanks, Scott. Looking forward to next Saturday. We do this all over again.
It's the best part of the week. David Haughney.
Thanking you. And thanks for hosting a good kickoff.
Yeah. Good is very subjective. And thank you to all the fellow players. Gary Kernan.
Thank you.
And Grant Robbie.
Thank you. See you for East meets West soon, Scotty boy.
See you soon. Our defending champion, Stephen Wilson.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure.
What on earth is happening here? I'm sorry.
The returning David Campbell.
Hello, I had to come and charge my phone. See you all later.
Alan McLucas.
Oh, no, thank you for me. All right, great. Cheers. Okay.
I'm saying thank you to everyone in one.
Right, I'm only kidding. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Our number one pick, hopefully to do better this season. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Comeback is on, lads. The comeback is on.
And
what is it on?
I think that's everybody. I'm not forgetting anybody. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you to Daniel Campbell, and we appreciate you taking the time to edit this.
Yeah, just be thankful when I slag you off like crazy, you wee dick.
And before we go, a special message to my brother Ross. If he ends up winning this season in advance, as I was basically making the picks for you, I'd like to say you're welcome. Good luck in season 6, lads.